Hello, everybody, and welcome to this new edition of GM Web3 dedicated to MultiversX. Like every Wednesday at 8 a.m. UTC or 10 a.m. CT, I am very happy to be here this morning with you. Today, we will mostly speak about the new release of xPortal, the native wallet of MultiversX, the core wallet, which is multi-chain now. It's an AI assistant who was announced on X Day 2023, and after more than 1 year and a half, they at last actually released this feature. So we'll speak about it with my friend Joaquim. Before we start, I would like to thank the sponsors of GM Web3. And I will start by eApes. eApes is an NFT project, one of the oldest and the most resilient one on MultiversX, and yeah, they launched a capsule collection on Solana to explore new ecosystem, new technology, new communities. And the pre-sale started yesterday in partnership with Magic Eden. So we wish good luck to EAP's team for this new part of its adventure. And thank you again for your continued support of GM Web3 for month now. And the second sponsor, I think it very well. It's Atom. Atom is the leading lending and borrowing platform on MultiversX, but they are also liquid staking providers, and they launched the first native stablecoin on MultiversX. It's the USH. So you can find all of the links in the comment, in the description of the YouTube video and podcast, because the show will be available in replay on every podcast platforms. And thank you to the two sponsors of this show. So let's start by welcoming my friend Joaquim. Hello, Joaquim. How are you?
Good morning. We have both as big eyes today.
You you
I'm
you
well. I'm
you,
well.
you can see it.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Because
I
I don't
think
know
none of
how
us have slept very much.
yeah, I went to bed yesterday. I think it was at 3, and this morning at like 8 I was woken up by
Yeah.
of my
I don't know how
neighbor.
you call it in English.
Yeah, so I can tell I haven't slept a lot, and it was not an easy. But yeah, we're here, no problem. Thank you very
Always here.
much for coming. I think it will be a short show today because
Indeed.
we only have one topic to discuss about. Maybe I will have some question about the, I don't know, like overall ecosystem, but yeah, mostly we'll speak about um, xGenie. So, guys, of course, don't forget to like, repost, comment, anything. You can, of course, ask your questions in the chat. I can see all of them, and I can share them, and I can try to answer or ask to Joachim to answer them. So, yeah, it's interactive. Participate with us to this show. So, if you agree, Joachim, I would like to show something first.
Go ahead. Are you going to show the 10 minutes of the. No.
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 I wrote X Genie on Twitter, and I found this post of our beloved friend Foudre, and on October 19, 2023, he made a post. MultiversX announced X Genie, an AI assistant inside xPortal, and
Yeah.
everybody
That
was
that Yeah, he
yeah.
was tweeting directly because he was there from X Day Paris.
Uh,
Because we were
in
all
two,
there.
in 2023, I think it was in Bucharest, because last year there were no
Yes.
X Day.
Yeah.
In
Was it only
2024, yes, times
after?
goes
Was
by.
yeah, but I was convinced it was announced during the first X day.
Oh, I found this post, but maybe it was announced even 1 year before. You say?
No, but now you're making me doubt. But like I thought it was actually announced with like at the announcement of xPortal, which was the year
Maybe okay.
before.
It was teased 1 year before,
Yeah,
and 1 year after. Okay, so when I say
yeah.
xGenie was planned 1 year and a half ago, actually it was maybe 2 year and a half. Okay.
Let me check
Yeah,
it.
sure. Check it. So the thing is, when they announced it, we can mention that people was enthusiast for part of them, and it was supposed to help the users to find information, to trade, and maybe to custom the user experience with the AI possibilities. And I will show you something else.
I confirm it was X day 2023.
Okay. So this is xGenie. Can you see it?
Yeah.
So your money just got an AI brain. xGenie follows momentum and trades autonomously cross-chain. They took the example of the Trump coin with some like pros in the analysis with some coins and the verdict and a call to action to buy. Okay, I think it is not exactly what we can see on xPortal. So
No,
I don't
there's
know.
some similarities, but there is no
Okay, this is not
but
accurate.
no, but we can discuss um how it looks.
So before I give you the mic, the thing is, my first question: do you think first? Yeah, this is the way it, and let's shoot out to Quack. Uh, so here it is. So you can find the token. It's there is like an instantaneous snapshot about the volume and so on. You have the strength of the coin. You have the growth opportunities, boosters, and my take. So the AI gives its opinion, but it's no financial advice. So just for the audience who maybe don't know xGenie, who never or never saw it. So let's now speak about it a bit more. First of all, before it was announced, Joaquim, were you expecting such AI assistant? Do you think it's something relevant in a wallet or in a like bank payment financial application? Yeah, that's my first question.
So we knew it was coming, right? Because of the whole acquisition of this other wallet by entities working at Trade Republic, and that the wallet was specialized in AI. It was supposed to be an AI wallet. So they were bringing in people who had that knowledge. So
So
it
you're
was to be
speaking
expected.
you're speaking about the startup, the Alpha Link startup that
Yeah,
they
Alpha Link. Yeah.
acquired. Yes.
So like, and also obviously X days, etc. It's always been in the talk that xPortal would have an AI assistant. Was what they delivered for now? I'll
No,
keep
no,
it.
no, no. Sorry. Just before we deep dive in like xGenie, I just want to have your opinion as a user, as I don't know,
If it's a
like
feature I'm looking
yeah,
for.
in a
Yeah,
financial app, and in a bank app, in a neobank app, in a payment app. Do you think AI has its place in it? I think it's a rhetorical question, but the
yeah,
second part is how should AI implement such financial app according to you? That's my maybe more precise question.
yeah. So I'm kind of going to take the evolution right from traditional banks to neobanks, and now everything is an app, right? So there was obviously a lack of flexibility with traditional banking. You would have to go to your bank to be able to do a wire, etc. And then obviously internet came, and then the apps came, and then neobanks where there is no physical bank at all. And what I've realized, and that there's actually some countries that are doing things to protect that, is that this moved at an incredible pace. There's certain countries, I'm going to take the example of Norway, where if you don't have a smartphone or don't know how to use a smartphone, it's actually quite hard because, like, your train ticket, your banking, your digital ID, all of this are apps. And so when you're young and you understand all this and you've grown with this, it's very simple and everything is in your pocket and you don't need to think about anything. But when you are a bit older, without even going to the elderly, it adds a lot of friction. It sounds simple and us because it gives 24/7 access, but for others, they need to be able to talk to someone as soon as they have a problem. And that's where I think that the neobanks were tailored to a type of clientele that obviously is now getting older with time and more used to it. But there was that friction of not being able to talk in human terms with your neobank because, well, there's a customer service that replies like 2 hours later, etc. So I do think that AI plays a role in the sense of a large language model, being able to take in human input and be able to respond in human terms to someone and guide them in the right direction or take those actions for that person. When it comes to financial decisions, there we go a bit more into muddy waters, and I have a bit more mixed opinions. What about you, Jerem?
So I think AI can implement financial applications in two ways. First, you have the backstage, how the banks, how the institutions can use AI, maybe to like, to detect fraud, maybe to score people for credit. So this is the backstage and the use of AI,
Yeah,
and I think it's something that they are already using, and I think it's
yeah,
interesting.
and I think that's where there's a fine line between machine learning and AI. Like machine learning has been running for over a decade and is already being used. I just feel like we're kind of pasting AI on machine learning a bit too often.
I think the difference between AI and machine learning is the autonomy. But yeah, definitely the base is pretty much the same. But as a user, I would expect the AI to help me in the customer service, maybe also about algorithmic trading or portfolio management. Such thing I would like to have some insight, some input. Also, could be interesting to have the AI for something very simple, like I ask a question, like Google today. You don't just search for something, you ask for something. So you can ask your wallet
Yeah.
or your app, how can I make a wire to this? So, but you're right, there is a thin limit between just a bot with pre-saved answers and AI that will maybe customize the thing more. Yeah.
Bec- because the reality is, for many of those things, they still are chatbots. They just have now a large language model that is capable of taking a sentence and finding keywords or synonyms to the words they have been taught to use to trigger certain things.
But it's so
So, like,
limited.
yeah,
It's so
so
limited.
like
There
it's
are
a
so many
V2.
questions unanswered.
It's exactly, it's a V2 of a chatbot. Is
Definitely.
my opinion.
I agree with you, and this V2 is I would be welcomed in any industries,
Yeah, yeah,
by the way.
absolutely.
Yesterday I was trying to chat with crypto.com support. Oh my God, it's so long. And when you are after maybe 1 hour to try to know how to activate my new crypto.com card, they and I was not able to do it. They told me I will pass you to the expert. So I was expecting to be with an expert, and actually it was exactly the same guy asking me to wait more and more. So I think an AI could have answered like in a second. So yeah, the user journey would be way better. But coming
Yeah.
back to maybe to crypto.
Crypto.com customer service is a nightmare. I haven't changed my postal code in like 5 years because it's too complicated to do it.
Yeah.
Don't close my account, please. Crypto.com if you hear this. But yeah, because
So
I've had used the card in like forever.
yeah, the card is very cool. So coming back to cryptos now, we saw the AI agents like narrative last year, end of year. It was pretty like innovative, pretty new, pretty cool, pretty exciting, and like every narrative, it fell down pretty quickly. But you still have many of them on virtuals. So yeah, you have some initiative around that. So when MultiversX decided to position on AI narrative a few years ago, you know, with the Machine of Truth thing from Benny, with the xGenie on xPortal and so on, I think they were pretty much in advance in this
Yeah,
regard. So we can acknowledge this easily. What about execution now? So they decided to launch the xGenie thing, and it is to be concrete, like a button on the token page that will call an API to Token Terminal, which is an analysis platform,
yeah,
crypto platform analysis, something like that. They aggregate data from different sources to give some insight about tokens. So volume, liquidity, and many other insight and so on. So they aggregate this thing through this API and they rephrase it in a funky way with some
yeah,
emojis, and it displays it on the wallet, and you can update the information every 4 hours. This is what I
yeah.
understood.
And on the 4 hour part, I'm suspecting, which is kind of curious way of doing it, that the information is stoked on your device for those 4 hours, and then it refreshes, right? So like if I query that on Quack and do you query that on Quack, I actually think it's going to be two different requests and it's going to be stocked in our local memory, from
I
my understanding.
I don't know. What I know is limiting the upgrade every 4 hours prevent, I think, abuse
Yeah,
of
yeah,
the call API.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's a
yeah,
matter of cost, in my opinion,
yeah.
because
But
every time you click on analysis, you there is a call, so there's a
of course,
cost.
and that's where I found it interesting that there is a countdown of 4 hours instead of like if I were to do it, but again, because at Gap Labs we do code apps, um, we you would a user does a request, you cache it at the server level, and then when anyone else for the next 30 minutes does a call, it fetches this from the server, right? Meaning that after 30 minutes, the same user could redo it and it would be different. But because it's shared between so many entities, because it's stored on the server level and not on the app level, you save a lot of requests. Because you already need anyway to fetch information about like the token price, etc. So like that could just be directly in it. So yeah, anyway, I just
Mm.
thought it was a curious way because the 4 hours feels long in a sense, especially like if you're following it. Like let's say, like, because I see this mostly like for meme coins, right? I'm not the right person to for this kind of
No,
stuff.
but
But
you're
anyway,
definitely
um,
right if the feature is used. If the feature is used and if it provides really interesting insight, it can be something fanatical. It can lead people
I
to
see where
use
you're
it.
going.
No, but you know what I mean. I think
Yes,
nobody's using this except maybe for to chill or to make some content on X. But actually, I'm not sure someone at the moment, at the very moment now, is using this feature to have some critical and decisive input about the token. I
No,
haven't
and
seen anyone.
I think it would be interesting if you actually showed the video from the X day of like what it was initially shown as. And it's not like to talk negatively about it. It's just that I actually think that what is shown at the X day demo, or like teaser, I guess, has a more interesting use case than what was.
It's a very
Release.
good idea. I will show it in a minute.
Do you have the link, or do you want me to send
Yeah,
it
I
to you?
have everything. No, don't worry, I have it. It's already at the great moment. So I
Let's
will.
not talk about the second title part of the title of the video.
You mean the million users?
No, no, X World.
Oh, okay. Okay. But I think it's the same for millions of users. So let's play it. I will let it play for 2 or 3 minutes. Okay. So it's going to be good memories. Let's go.
So I want to go a little bit into a different direction and talk about how a wallet not only has to have the right features, but also has to be smart as well. So let's talk about AI. Now, as you know, we're big fans of AI because we've launched the AI-generated profile pictures this year, and everyone had a lot of fun with them. You know, you could cyberpunk yourself and stuff like that. And by the way, starting today, you will have more styles to play with and choose from. You can be a superhero or a wizard, or, you know, we'll add in more styles. So we've had a lot of fun with the capabilities of AI, and we've learned a tremendous amount of things about what's possible from working with state-of-the-art AI technology and interacting with its capabilities. And of course, by experimenting with AI as often as we did, we started to think more and more about how such a powerful technology could even further improve the user experience. Could AI maybe teach you about blockchain, about features, maybe give you some quick actions in the app, help you become a better investor? Yes, it can. Today, we are introducing your very own personal assistant in xPortal, one that can make you smarter about blockchain and a better investor. We call it xGenie. And it can make your crypto wishes come true. Let's watch a video.
What should I do with my remaining egld? Thanks, Genie.
This is very cool. So, xGenie is based on state-of-the-art large language models, and it will be free to use for everyone. Thank you. We're going to do a progressive rollout of this feature until early next year, while improving it on the way. So you'll be able to ask the Genie questions from a few categories, like education, you want to learn blockchain, app features, you want to get quicker to different actions. It can tell you about how much egld you have, things like that, early access to information, even help you with customer support and trading knowledge. And you might finally get those answers to questions you've been asking us all the time, like how much is it, where is it going, what's growing, what should I buy? But remember, it's an AI answering, so don't take it as financial advice. What you do afterwards, it's your problem. So even though it's still in development, I do have a small demo that I like to show you. And for the moment, we'll be interacting with the Genie in the chat section, but in future releases, you'll be able to activate the Genie by long pressing the main button on the homepage. And you'll be able to ask it things either by chat or by voice. But for the moment, we'll be using it in the chat section. So I'm going to ask Genie about staking. I want to learn something about staking. So it's going to give me an answer pretty quickly and help me learn about what staking is. And then, let's see, how much did egld grow in 1 week? And it's going to search the crypto markets and give me exactly the information to what I wanted to learn, while giving some disclaimers on the way. All right, then I'm going to do a typo. This is intended, so I wanted to see if it can understand what I asked it for.
So
Here you go.
we're back.
So
It was
yeah.
it was very interesting. What do you feel after you watched this?
So I don't think there's any need to talk about like delays being different at the release. I think everyone knows that and has been made aware now. If
It
they
was the
hadn't,
first version was supposed to be released early 2024, just to
indeed.
be clear.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
actually, it was released mid 2025.
So the interesting part for me is the question of like how far were they in development when they teased that, to be able, like, is that demo like a real life is it a real life demo, is it like just a script showing the response, etc. But my main thing is that, like, I actually think that the beauties of LLMs are the flowing conversation, and that's what they show during this video, either as they said with the long press or the chat functionality of xPortal, is that you can have this back and forth with an AI and it will be able to understand you, and you could even talk about something completely different and it would still be able to tell you probably like, oh, I have no knowledge in that or whatever. While what we have now is quite static in a sense. We're not interacting directly with an LLM. We're making, as you were saying, an API call to token terminal, which is then wrapped by an LLM and returned. But we're not interacting directly with the LLM, if that makes sense. We don't have a conversation with it.
There's no prompt thing.
No. Well, there's one prompt
Yeah,
that bakes the response.
you see what I mean. You cannot
Yeah.
interact. You
You're
cannot.
not prompting it.
Yeah. So which AI feature is that based on prompting as a user in classical thing?
Yeah, well, you have a few. For example, you have news outlets that would like read other outlets and rewrite articles in with AI, etc. I don't have the strongest opinion about that, but again, that is kind of niche. Like with user interaction, you're expecting something a bit more snappy and responsive. And the second part is for me the chat part. I actually think that we've seen it. We've seen it with a lot of companies did that. Snapchat had an AI assistant very early in their app. Now Meta has one. I'm not sure if Telegram has one. I don't use those kind of features, so I'm not the best person. But anyway, you have those AI agents that can help you like find the person you're looking for or respond random questions. We also have this kind of funny case of Facebook where people don't realize that like you can actually opt into your questions being public, and Meta just started sharing out of the blue random questions with the people's profile and name, and I was like, why did you do that? This is a nightmare. And you've got some of the weirdest things. But anyway, I'm getting away topic. Anyway, I actually think that the chat feature of xPortal is something that has been sadly not prioritized, which I actually think is quite a strong feature because we have the native hero tags, we have this easy accessible app. I kind of like the fact that like as we've seen in other with certain other wallets, they're able to discuss with someone, send them money directly. For example, WeChat is a very big app for that. I think Signal is it Signal that does this too. There's another app that does that too. Anyway, like those kind of payment solutions linked to that, and being able to like we do on Telegram, you just do a slash and like you can do a command to a bot or an AI. I actually think is really interesting. And that's why I feel like the whole chat part could kind of put on the side burner. Maybe it will come out later. And they decided to launch xGenie and tell us this is xGenie with it. And what I don't want to say worry me because I'm honestly not that worried. I've got bigger problems in my life. But like the announcing that as being xGenie without announcing there's more to come or anything, I'm just like, is that it? Is that like their focus on AI for xPortal is limited to, as we said, an API call to token terminal that has limitations as we've seen because it only takes the volume of X exchange. So we have Ashwap, Exchange, OneDex, etc., that are not shown. So there's a lot of liquidity, LPs, and a lot of volume that isn't being shown. So some of the tokens were called ghost towns by the AI before they changed it, which we can talk about later. And it was just like it's lacking actually data points to be able to give a good enough information, in my opinion. Yeah, and I agree with Marlon Hare.
Okay, thank you, Joachim. And I, of course, agree on what you say. In my opinion, there are several topics, several subjects about this release. First, of course, is the difference between what was advertised at this conference and what was delivered. Of course, we were told to lower our expectation, but in my opinion, it's so comment on dit en dessous?
Lower,
Below,
under, yeah, below.
under what was announced. That, in my opinion, and as far as I know, there was not a lot of communication around xGenie between the advertisement, the announcement around like
No,
two years ago, and the release. So, because we're not aware of what's going on the project, we could only base our expectation on this announcement. So it's normal that this release caused disappointment.
And I'll add to that because, as you said, they were very early with AI. Because, for example, we talked about the truth machine, and that actually I think was during XA Paris, because I'm mixing the two, Bucharest and Paris. And so there was a focus on AI. The reality was that even a year and a half ago, the friction of having a good LLM was still high. And then, like in the last, I would say, yeah, 1 year, 1 year and a half, it's just like being accessible to everyone. Like everyone can get, like as we've seen with ViboX, and I think that's where it's quite an interesting comparison actually. Is like
But my
AI has
question
become.
is how, sorry,
No,
Joaquim,
no,
but
go ahead.
how xPortal team can release such feature and think that people will be enthusiastic. I mean, how the hell during the meeting they say, okay, we acquired an AI startup. We announced it like big. Former employees of Trade Republic, specialized in AI. We announced xGenie with like teasers on which there's interaction and so on. And now we release a button that makes API call with no interaction, something really, really, really low quality. And I'm not even talking about the content, because there's a second part is about the content, because the xGenie is an evil genie because it destroys every ESDTs he analyzes. But we'll, of course, speak about it later. So my question is how these guys could be that disconnected to the community, to the expectations, as low as they can be, okay, about the release. My question is, according to you, as a developer, as an entrepreneur, as someone who is supposed to launch a project for 5 years now,
Yeah, everyone talking.
how
That's the
do you
issue.
think?
I'm never happy with my product.
Yes, but the thing is, how these guys says, okay, we release it now. It's just a poke, it's just an MVP, but it will be enough to start. So, do you think they could have waited to have maybe a more powerful feature before they release it, or they had to release something even very experimental because they are thinking about the release of their token and so on? This is my whole question. I let you, and guys in the audience, feel free, of course, to give your take about that. We'll share it live. Let's go, Joaquim. What do you think?
So I think even before the meeting about the release of the feature, etc., is like when you start coding the feature, you ask yourself like, um, what problem do I solve? Like, why would users use this feature? And you start thinking, and like it was a thought that I actually had when I started looking into it when it released. I was like, okay, I already have the token price, I already have the volume, already have the market cap displayed on the token page. So my conclusion is that because as you've seen, I did a fun exercise and created my own little agent that did something similar, and I sent you an example with what was it? Was it with Hatom or Ethereum? Anyway, and like for me, the actual information that is missing on the token page is what's the token's purpose. On the token page, there is no information about the token's purpose, and that is where I took the example for MultiversX. But like I just did an agent that I told him that each time he would get a ticker by an API call, he would go check the token page. He would get all the different links that the project had done if the token was branded, and would quickly read. And so for Globis, he would explain me that it's like a modern Airbnb thing. He would explain the pros and the cons and talk a little bit about the industry. For Hatem, he would told us a lending protocol, etc. And I think this is more interesting, and I'm going to explain why. People might disagree, but like xPortal shows you the most trending tokens, right? So you already get a price performance. You already see like this token has performed well in the 24 hours, and your question is going to be, what is this token about and why is it performing? And I think those two questions would have been extremely interesting to be able to answer very quickly without having to get out of xPortal, go on the browser and look, etc. Telling you the volume, etc., with, again, wrapped with some AI flair, doesn't really reply to any question for me. Like it's not what's going to make me decide if I want to dig deeper into the token or not.
Bro, you don't even have a call to action.
No, well, you are on the page
even
where you can buy.
no, but you don't have at the end like a call to action, maybe
No.
add just a little interaction. So the thing is, what you say about the token is interesting because, as far as I understand, you will need the token to enable more feature, to have more, a better AI. Some features will be unlocked if you stake or if you own or if you spend maybe tokens. So this is what I understood, because I think they need to raise fund, fair enough, and so they will release a token, fair enough, and so they need to give some utilities to this token. So because these kind of wallets are mostly 100% free, so they need to create some value people will need to pay for or to stake for. And actually, I think the AI will be part of it. But if you do that, then you need to release like something great to encourage people to buy and stake your token if it's about this. So in my opinion, they wanted to release something very fast, even if it's completely disconnected to what people were expecting or what people needs in xPortal. So I think I would be happy to know how many people really used it, not just to chill on X first. Second, on the main page of xPortal, you absolutely have no idea about this xGenie. It's completely hidden. So if you don't go to the token page, if you don't scroll a bit, you can't see it. So it's a hidden thing. And remember the video, it was supposed to be on the chat. I am on the landing page of xPortal. I don't know if you can see it like this.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
even know where the chat is.
Oh, wait. It doesn't exist anymore.
So
No. Wait.
I think it's
Have they
I don't
removed
know.
the chat?
Maybe they did because I think nobody was using it. But anyway,
No, but like
no.
I don't think the reason nobody was using it was um like if you release a half-baked product, no one will use it, and that's my issue with a lot of features that people launch, and like not just in general. It's like they will launch something and say we'll see how it does before we put more effort into it. And it's like, if you don't put more effort into it, people won't use it. You need it to be good and to serve a purpose. You can't just launch something for the sake of it and see if it takes off, we can use it. And like an interesting example, Xoxno has a chat feature. On Xoxno, you can chat someone saying like, I'm interested in
Useful.
buying you.
It is useful because you can talk
Yeah,
with the seller, the buyer, you can negotiate. So it's
exactly.
something that is useful. But they wanted to make xPortal like a super app. But it
We
could be
have
interesting.
Benista telling us where the chat is. So basically, now you have to click on your PFP image, and it's on this. In it's I completely forgot that it's on that side menu. There's a massive chat. Thank you, Benista.
Where?
Click on your PFP.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, don't you have a massive chat?
Oh,
Conversation.
conversation. Okay,
Yeah, you have it in French.
no, but the transact the
Yeah,
translation is
we use chat in French too.
conversation. But anyway, so as you can see, the chat and so the xGenie thing is completely hidden. Because there is so many information in xPortal, and to be honest, I recommended Maya to all of my friends and family. They loved it because it was simple. Now, to be honest, it's really, 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 really. But it's another topic. So
Yeah, no,
let's.
but it is something that we discuss and people ask from day one, from even when xPortal was announced, not even live. It was, we need the light mode because you use a Sumaya,
I
you use
know.
this very simple
I
wallet
called
that
for it
allowed us.
for years.
Yeah, yeah,
But
and
anyway,
and
so let's go back to xGenie. So the feature is completely how to say, under what anyone would expect from an AI assistant in 2025. They took 1 year and a half and one acquisition to build it. No, but let's be clear. Someone on X said something was very funny. I could have done better with ViboX. So
right,
my question. No,
right,
but
yeah.
let's be
The
clear.
VibeX is great. I'm
That
actually a big defender of VibeX.
we can speak about ViboX again later. But my question is, because I am not a tech guy, okay, you are one. Honestly, this feature, so it's a button that calls an API. So you just pay token terminal to get this information. You take this data and you put it in an LLM saying, can you rephrase it with emoji and a very fun and short form? Okay, this is the prompt. This is, I think, very simple. And you display it on xPortal. So my question, because this is how I see it, but I am not a developer or something, is it worth an acquisition, 1 year and a half of work, or could have been done in a few weeks with a hackathon or with maybe an external people for less time and less resources? What do you think, as far as you know, as a developer?
Yeah, so like that is something like I never like doing, is talking negative about someone else's work, even though that's what I've been doing for the last half hour. But like I was trying to see if my if I still yeah, no, I was just trying to see if I could get my agent up and running quickly, but it will be for another time. But basically, like I think they did research to decide for token terminal, right? They were just like, we need to find an endpoint, an API endpoint that gives us information about most tokens. So it's kind of like a vanilla solution. And I think that's where the first mistake is. I don't think you can have a good solution by depending on a broad one. I think, for example, MultiversX, which remains the biggest user base, we obviously have Sui in strong number 2. Like you have an API that you know by the back of your hand that gives a lot of information about tokens. Like the MultiversX API is actually really good compared to other chains. So like you could just have included in the loop, if the token is on MultiversX, called this API to give a much more thorough image and be useful to people on MultiversX. The issue with, again, using token terminal is that it doesn't cover all the dexes, and it is very general, and also again it doesn't give you the depth of looking for the purpose of the token. Again, if you're pure, like even as a pure speculative, like even a meme coin, wouldn't you like at least want to know like what the meme is about? I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking it. I'm not the biggest meme coin person, but like a meme coin, like it needs to have a culture, a community, or a branding, right? It needs to have a presence. No, if not, you're just better off going straight on a pump.fun, or I'm making promotional videos now. I'm absolutely not promoting pump.fun. So like I'm kind of missing again the what it aims to solve, and I just think that had they spent like done a progressive rollout, focus on MultiversX at first, made it solid on MultiversX using the tools they have on MultiversX, and then gone to other ecosystems, Sui, etc., but made it tailored to the ecosystem to have all the information it needs, it would have made it a much stronger tool. And another part is, you know how, as you said with Google, now in Google we have the AI summary at the top. Well, we agree with how fat Harry, but we agree with a lot of things. When you Google something, now you have the AI summary, which love or hate. I'm more on the hate part, but that's for different reasons. It gives you a summary because it actually browsed the first few websites and made a summary of it for you, so you don't actually have to click on the website. And that's the kind of awful part of it. But anyway, you don't have to click on "I want an AI summary." It does it for you, good or bad. That's another topic. But like when you go on a token page, I kind of want the description or like the quick overview of the token to be generated automatically as I enter the page. And again, that's why I think it would be much more interesting to have this data cached, stored on the server, and not being queried by the user directly, because then you can share the load of the request across all the users, because there aren't that many tokens people are going to explore. Like I think there's like the main ones, and then you're going to get a few off cases. But again, that's
My
how
question, thank you for this, but my question was not exactly this one. I would like, according to you, as far as we know, of course, as far as you can see the feature at the moment, do you think, because the perception of the community is what all of this for just that it could have done before, could have done better. So is it actually complicated to integrate such thing?
If we remove if we remove finding token terminal, if we remove making a deal with token terminals, if there is one, because it says powered by token terminal, so maybe they have a deal with them anyway. If we remove like the business part of it, purely the implementation part, I would say in a week, and I'm being generous. I think I'm being very generous. You're muted.
Yes, because on token terminal you can find the API thing, and you can see that they have different offers. Let me share my screen. So as you can see, you can choose your plan. So free, pro, API. So maybe this is the one
Yeah,
they
it is that
used.
one. But again,
So
maybe they got a deal.
they got a deal for what? To have maybe
Because
more thing or less expensive? Okay, this kind of
yeah,
business
so
development takes days with such. I know guys from Token Terminal because they are regularly at crypto event, so they are very cool. And I can tell you that they're just open to any deal, so they can make discount and so on in a very
yeah.
short time. So
And that's what I do think that they're probably not paying a whole grant every month, because if you pay for an API provider, normally you don't have to show them. You don't have to show powered by token terminal. So basically, maybe they're not even paying for it, to be honest. Maybe they just came on an agreement. We're going to showcase token terminal in xPortal in exchange of using your API for free. Wouldn't surprise me.
actually, even if
No, yeah. I'm just saying.
okay. And guys, from the audience, just let's be clear. Some may call it FUD. First, I don't care. Second, the thing is to analyze things and to try to understand. Of course, xPortal team is welcome on GM Web3, but unfortunately, the CEO blocked me. Maybe he misclicked. But anyway, the thing is,
I think we got a
yes,
team member in the comments, right? Which is worth mentioning. We got to
who,
love the feedback, fellas. So,
who?
Kostinas, if
Oh,
whoever
Kostinas,
you are,
he's from xPortal team.
well, he says love the
Kostinas is
feedback.
from Ethereum.
Is he? Okay,
I think
maybe.
Kostinas is a community guy from Ethereum, but maybe I'm
Ah,
wrong. But
okay.
I'm not. I'm
Anyway,
not
if
sure.
you are xPortal related, you're more than welcome to join us. We'll send you a link
Yeah,
ASAP
definitely.
if you
Of
want.
course,
Open
MultiversX,
invitation.
xPortal. Yeah, of course. My show is.
Oh, I froze or you froze. I'm not sure if it's me or if it's GRM who's frozen, so I'm just going to keep talking just in case it is GRM and not me. But yeah, and I'll quickly say, like, I actually think, like, to respond to you, Marlon Harry, I actually think that yes, you would use the chat on a banking app. If you've used PayPal before, let me see if I can take mine out now. As soon as you make a payment, it actually shows in the chat box. And I actually think that is quite an interesting way of doing it. I'm going to try not to. Yeah, I think we definitely lost GM. Here I am doing my own. Basically, yeah, it's you. Thank you, Andreans. I'm trying not to send money to random people. But anyway, basically, there is a chat. I'm just trying to show. Okay. Anyway, on PayPal, I just don't want to give people's identity. Anyway, on like PayPal, you have this chat feature, and I actually think it is quite good because you can have discussions about related to the payment, etc. So I actually think that, and I think Revolut does the same. So I actually think that in neobank, new payment solutions, that is a good solution. So GM has rugged on me. So I'm here talking to myself, which I'm not very comfortable doing. But anyway, so yeah, no, to so again, as we are saying, Christianas, if you are working from xPortal, you're more than welcome to drop either GM or myself a DM on Telegram or yes, of it. I'm going to send money to try it out. And yeah, and we'll gladly discuss it because I'm very curious to see what the train of thought is. So like because there is a reason, right? Everything has a reason. You don't spend time and resources doing something if you don't do it for a purpose. Sometimes you'll miss the mark and your purpose doesn't serve the purpose you want it to serve, and that happens. And there's nothing bad with that. You reiterate, you improve, etc. But like yes, I'm very curious of what they wanted to achieve, and like if this is just the first stepping stone and there's more, or if this is it, and like maybe we'll get more features like in a long time. In the meantime, I'll just answer questions. So on Twitter, we have Nas asking me if I've done anything more with VibeX. So yes, I've done tiny bits, and I'm going to explain very clearly why I haven't done more. I'll just finish here. Welcome back. So yes, I've been using VibeX a bit, but mostly I've been working on integrating Gaupa login on VibeX to give a better user experience, so people can join with using regular social medias and email, etc., and not needing to download an app. So I've been working on that, and that's why I've slept 2 hours last night. So I've been working closely with the VibeX team, great guys and women, and yeah, just been a blast. And I actually think that VibeX has a lot of potential, but we'll discuss that later. Anyway,
Sorry.
welcome back to you.
Thank you very much. Sorry, internet problem. Thank you for taking the mic in the meantime. I don't know where I was cut by xPortal team. I think they
Yeah, we were just inviting them to come, and I think they did us too.
No, seriously, I was just saying it's not about fudding or anything. It's about trying to understand the strategy, trying to understand why it took so long for such a limited feature. It's also about trying to understand what will be the next step of xPortal strategy. And for you guys from the audience, whether you're invested on EGLD, or whether you want to maybe invest in upcoming xPortal token, I think it's important for you to have some objective analysis about the journey, and that's why I'm never alone on GM Web3. I always want to have someone with me, someone who is a little bit I don't know, like I would not say bullish, but a little bit more positive or exposed on MultiversX, because I'm always with builders who spend resources, time, and efforts for years on this ecosystem. And so that's just what I'm trying to do every Wednesday in the morning. And in this regard, I haven't read any positive comment about xGenie, except of course, maximalists who just say, "Hey, great, great, great." But except of that, I haven't read anything positive. So I think there's a problem. And the thing is, does xPortal team explain? Does xPortal team justify such choices? I haven't read about this. Do you guys from the audience or Joachim, have you talked with the xPortal? I mean, leaders, not the community managers, for example, who are, in my opinion, great guys. They're creating fun content. They are really reactive with the community. They are fun. They are creative. I really, really, really appreciate their work. I'm really talking about, the C-level who decides to release this feature now. Do you have any? Did you have any chat with them, or have you read anything about that, or they just don't care and they love xGenie how it is?
No, so like to their credit, there was very quick iteration, right? One could discuss why was this iteration needed in the first place if they had done a bit more tests. But like as a reminder, basically when it came out, I think they wanted to make it they wanted to make xGenie like funny, witty, a bit like salty. I'm talking about very British expressions here, but like yeah, add a bit of spice, and like it went a bit too far in the sense that like because it was lacking information etc about token price, token volumes, it would call a lot of coins like dead coins or dead chains etc. And so with other fellow builders in certain groups, we gave that feedback that like actually like this isn't a good look. Like xPortal, the whole topic about xPortal going to other chains is to bring attention back to MultiversX, etc. Like you could go from one token to the other, and all of them was like bashing.
About that, if you agree, I will just show something I saw, which is very funny. I don't know if you know the meme coin bud. It's an orange
I hold a bit of
dog,
it.
and they made a post who worked very well. So that's why I will share it. Can you see it? Yes.
Yeah.
So they posted, "I hate xGenie," and for such a small account, they made like 4,005 impression, and they were even commented by xPortal themselves. So this is what I love.
Yeah. No, again, xPortal
they're
team,
funny.
yeah.
But so as you can see, okay, this is a meme coin. There is like a zero volume. So I think what is written here is pretty much accurate. Ultra low market cap, potential explosive grid market sentiment, dead volume, no clear utility, circulating supply bloated, a zombie meme with no pulse, avoid unless you're gambling on a miracle pump, not financial advice. And so they wrote, "I hate xGenie." So it was funny, of course. But if it was just about like meme coin like bot, I think it's not a problem. It's part of the deal to bring some great and objective insight. But the thing is, I think they made a patch since, but at the first version, you could like analyze any ESDTs. You had a very, very negative thing about it. So there's one
Even
question,
EGLD.
even EGLD. But you know what? In my opinion, if xGenie would have
Well,
said
yeah. No,
something positive, I
I
think,
agree. I would. My point is just that like we know that we have this challenge with ESDTs that they're listed on very few sexes, so therefore there's a lower volume, etc. The GLD is kind of the exception to the rule. So you would expect it to get not a better treatment, but like reflect a better sentiment.
yeah,
Because of that.
because for now, I know that xPortal is saying we are multi-chain, so, but like 90%, maybe 95% of the users are from MultiversX. We've been there for years now. We've been through so many things, and now they release a genie, and actually the genie says that all the MultiversX token ecosystem is just full of crap. So it's pretty much normal that the community don't really like it, builders mostly, but they I think patched it. They add
Yes,
a
very,
patch
very quickly.
to make it not more positive, but maybe to make it more
Less
funny.
salty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
less
yeah.
salty. Yeah. Okay.
And I think that helped because like as you said, like it's an objective tool using objective data, comparing it to the whole ecosystem. And if you take the whole Web3 ecosystem and you compare most ESDTs, yeah, where like they're not incredible. Doesn't mean that they're bad tokens. It's just that again, low liquidity and low volumes is what I would say are the two main data points actually that AI seems to use. So yeah, there's a lot of, and again, I still think it would have been interesting to do it based on the ecosystem, because like if you are on MultiversX, you are used to those levels. You see what I mean? If you compare Ethereum to MultiversX, obviously every single MultiversX token is going to be trashed. So I think it would actually been interesting because the person who checks the token already is aware of the ecosystem and what's it's around. So I think it's actually interesting to compare them regionally, if that makes sense,
But
rather
so
than
that's
against the whole
that.
the market.
So it's a proof. It's one more proof that even the prompt was not well thought. I mean, you just need to add, please, in the analysis, take in consideration the ecosystem of the token to make it maybe more relevant, or maybe add just a disclaimer, or maybe just think about the prompt a little bit more. After 1 year and a half, I think you could have thought about maybe a more accurate prompt. It was made, in my opinion, really, really fast. You can find the curate, from ChatGPT. So
Yeah, but that one is a pesky one. It's very hard to get rid of.
no, you just need to every day. So anyway, in my opinion, it was completely amateurship, je crois que ça se dit, and really, really, really disappointed. So what's next for xGenie? I'm not sure it's relevant to watch again the video. I think we could be disappointed again. But what do you think will be the next step for xGenie and xPortal? First, the token, and after more feature for xGenie, or maybe they will release something a bit more interactive and comment on dit, immersive. What we expect from an AI? You know what? They sold a robot, a mascot, an incarnation, someone that can be either fun and sometimes angry with the eyes. So they sold something embodied, something like incarnated, and actually we have something completely cold with no incarnation, just a button. So in my opinion, this is the worst part of this feature. Do you think they will release something soon to make it better, or they will need more funds, so it will be more about the token before? Just hypothetically.
Yeah. So first, if you want to show them last message by Nas, he has a point. The xPortal team has delivered a lot of things, and I would say most of the time talk very positively of the xPortal team and what they release. We just think this one is clearly a missed mark. So as you said,
When you speak about what they delivered, last thing they delivered is a sweet isolated thing, so
yes,
nothing to bring anything to MultiversX or GLD. But
yes,
what else in terms of
no,
functionalities?
but that is where this again is two different topics in my opinion. It's like xPortal as an entity has delivered quite interesting features. For example, as you say, like the Sui lounge, as I like to call it, a bit like an airport. You go to your dedicated lounge
It's
with
not a functionalities. It's just what we have on MultiversX. They declined it for
yes,
Sui, but
but
there's nothing new.
no,
when we expect
I would call that a feature because there
it's a
one
service.
at the time there was only one, right? The default was the MultiversX. Now there's a default neutral, there's a MultiversX one, and there's a Sui one. And all of those come with their package, as you say, of services.
So it's a new service, a B2B service, okay? But for the users, it's a new chain, okay, as you want. But when we speak about feature, we are calling for IBAN, we are calling for payment services.
No,
this is what we expect from the super financial app xPortal, powered by AI and so on. Please, guys.
But I think that's where like the problem is. xPortal is obviously depending on xMoney for the IBAN part.
Yeah. So what, they knew it when they announced it 3 years ago.
Of course, and like there's the subscription cards with different tiers that we were supposed to be able to use. Like there's a lot of features we're waiting for, but again, all those features are linked to xMoney. So like it's like I'm not putting the blame on xMoney. I don't know what's happening behind the doors, but like it seems to be a friction at that level, right? Because once xMoney has this in place, again, it's a week's time work to implement a feature like that. So yeah, anyway, but the question was the future. Yes, as you said, the mascot is very cute. The mascot has emotion, talks, makes it much more attractive, and it kind of reminds me, and that's where like I find it interesting that they didn't collaborate with Tada, because Tada is specialized in AI, is specialized in a lot of things, and has massive deals when it comes to that, to training models to give the best possible experience. And they have also quite a cute robotic guy called Tads. Again, I don't hold any Tada that I'm aware of, at least, and so this is absolutely no investment advice. But I just think they've done some stuff right, and the Tads is one of them. So yeah, I think the chat feature and having a bit more of that robot being present would help. But you don't want it to be tacky, right? There's so many of this, like AI chatbots with fake humans, etc., that look dystopic more than anything else. So I think there's this balance to find. But yeah, like I really do hope that this was just, as you say, a taste, and that we get.
The thing is, there's another thing that is interesting. They launched the Sui part in xPortal, but I haven't seen anyone from Sui speaking about xGenie. So my question is, do their like multi-chain strategy work? I think it's time to start to question this, because they spent a lot of time and resources to be multi-chain, to onboard new users, to like, I don't know, like to make some partnerships with other foundations. But when they release a new feature, I haven't seen anyone from Sui speaking about xGenie. It was just about MultiversX. So when xPortal will have to analyze their marketing and business strategy, what do you think about it?
So I think we can't attack on two fronts. I'm going to explain why. I'm going to explain my reasoning. Basically, we've been saying for the last hour that this feature isn't great, that it's probably forgotten as soon as you've discovered it, and it doesn't bring much to the table. The reality is the MultiversX community has seen Maya Wallet and the xPortal grow, has been invested to it, sees it as the representation of the success of MultiversX and indirectly the success of their bags. So there is an emotional and financial relationship with xPortal for the MultiversX community. For the Sui community, it's just a tool, it's just a wallet. They don't have this affection. Like the Sui token has no performance relationship with it.
It's one of the wallets.
Exactly. And not the only wallet, which is also very important.
Definitely. But as far as I know, it's the first Sui card.
Yes, it is. And that people talked about.
But the problem is, as far as I know, Sui community is mostly in the United States of America, but the Sui card is not available in the United States of America. So maybe the problem is there.
Yeah, well, I did actually see quite a lot of Sui people talk about the card again.
Because they
And
don't have access to.
no, some because they have access to, but as you say, but I think that is actually coming very shortly. The US market for
Lower your expectation. You know what? When someone says very shortly, I
yeah,
try to.
I purposely don't use the word soon anymore. It's banned from my vocabulary.
We will call it the S word.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you very much. But guys, you know what? I really, really, really would like to find something positive, really to say about xGenie, but I can't find it. So the only positive thing I can say is congrats to the community managers who are creating like some fun stuff on Twitter. Keep sending good vibes to the community. Really, about that, it's a 100% very cool. But about the features and the wallet at the moment, it's difficult. Can't wait day to release more information about the token. You know, the white paper, the tokenomics, the method of issuance, and so on. Can't wait, of course, to analyze this. Definitely, the robot
Yeah,
design is cool. You're right; it's cool.
we all agree.
Even if we can find such robot like and it's a mix between an astronaut and a robot. You can find it in startup ecosystem for 10 years.
Astrobot.
Yes, definitely. So it's not very new, but anyway, it's pretty cool. But you know what? If it's that cool, so why not sing it
Push
on
him.
xPortal? Or
Uh,
even if just its eyes, I don't know, like. But yes,
yeah.
it's cool.
Well,
It's
isn't
pretty
that
cool.
like, and that was quite like, if people who are Apple users love cool gimmicky automation, etc. Like if you looked at the video of teaser, when he pressed a long time, it changed from the
Yes,
multi-second logo to the
yes,
two eyes that blink.
could have been
Like
cool.
it's
You
those
know,
small things.
creating some stickers
I
and
hate
so
I
on.
hate them because they take forever to code. But those small things add a
Mm.
little bit of a nice touch.
I would love, and you know what? There's another problem about that. But you know, when Apple release a new you know, new features, new phone,
Yes.
when they like organize a keynote.
Yeah.
After this, you have like conférence de presse,
Press conference. Yeah.
press conference. Yes, thank you. So you can ask questions, so you can challenge, so you can try to understand the different strategies chosen and so on. There you have nothing. You have, here is xGenie, and
Thank
that's
you.
it. No communication with the community, no interview, no AMA, like nothing. And in my opinion, but maybe I'm wrong, but in my opinion, in Web3, even more than in Web2, when you know that xPortal is mostly financed by egld, MultiversX Foundation, and so by the holders of egld, could be the minimum for me to take the time to take some questions and to answer them, to, I don't know, like, to, for more transparency, for more proximity with the community, and not just staying in your ivory tower. We released, the people will like it, and see you later. So
Uh,
you know what I mean. This,
yeah, but
and this is not
I would
just for xPortal. It's for
no, but I would actually say that xPortal is better than other MVX products because
no, no,
xPortal do participate in AMAs,
no.
etc.
I remember last time they acquired Alpha Link. They organized an AMA. When I asked a question, they blocked me. The official account.
The usual.
No. It was the official account. xPortal blocked me after they unlocked me. But anyway, it's not just about me, but I followed the AMA. It was DB Crypto. You know, when DB Crypto is organizing an AMA, there will not be any real question. It will just be, hey, why
No,
is
I'm
that
not.
so cool?
I'm not gonna enter in that debate at all with you.
It's
I
okay. But
think
what I
some
think
of
is,
DB space is actually quite good.
it's completely fair. But like seriously, this is not the question that the community is really asking. It's just what he's paid to ask.
Yeah,
So that's,
yeah,
in my opinion, the
but
problem.
it's kind of the same during press conferences, right? In a press
No,
conference, no, I'm sorry, but it
you
is in
choose.
a press
Look,
conference.
even Trump, when
Choose it. Yes, no,
he
it
choose,
chooses.
but even media who is completely against him, they have the right to ask the question. Of course, Trump has the right to answer the way he wants. You are fake news media.
And
uh,
yeah, and that's why the opposition media also got access to the Epstein files, and not only his cherry-picked journalists that were all on his side. No. Press
but people can
conferences
ask a
are
question.
very controlled environments.
Yeah, I saw some questions from the opposition, and of course, Trump has the freedom not to answer or to just make jokes and so on. That's politics. But he is asked tough questions sometimes.
Yeah, I'm not.
Anyway,
Anyway, that's not the
would be
topic of today.
great
We
after
can talk
X.
about that Friday.
Yes, because you're coming to GM Web3 in French on Friday in the morning. So let's maybe close this xGenie chapter. I think
Indeed.
we tried.
Hopefully, the first of many.
Yes, hopefully. We tried to give you some objective insight about the feature, about how it was welcomed by the community, and what was the challenge in it, like development part, and what could be the potential of AI in such a financial app. I hope you liked it. Um, uh, Joaquim, is there anything else you wanted to talk about on MultiversX? Because to be completely honest, of course, I'm a 24 hours on X, and about MultiversX or project or associative project, not just the blockchain or the foundation. I haven't seen anything like important this week. Maybe some news about
So
ViboX, or maybe I don't
yeah.
know.
So first of all, I think we also ViboX was on the panels of Times Square, and one of the feedbacks, and I'm not saying they did listen to your feedback. One of the feedback was just like, why are we promoting ViboX when it's still a public
We spoke
alpha or
about it
beta? Yeah,
last week. You guys can find the video on YouTube, ViboX. It's the only tutorial and analysis of ViboX you can find. Sorry,
for
Joaquin.
now. Well, last night, some people were looking at the Times Square live stream, and now it is MultiversX ads that are running.
Yeah, I
Quite big ones.
saw. We will share this. I saw this. How can
Yeah,
I
wait,
share
let
it?
me.
You can do it.
Yeah, I'll try to.
Okay, so the communication and marketing of MultiversX is about digital screens on Times Square. But yeah, Benny released the video, by the way, on which he says to builders generate revenue. Thank you, Benjamin. But what about business development of MultiversX to generate revenue?
Is that a question for me? Wait,
Yes.
I got. I'm trying to do the. I'm multitasking here. I'm trying to get the video at the same time.
No, but as a builder, what do you think about this great piece of advice of Benjamin? Generate revenue.
I've actually given my my 2 cents directly to Benjamin on this to be completely transparent. So I'm going to give my quick take. I think we all know. To be honest,
Really?
revenue news is the bedstone and everything, and I think kind of like part of that was it is your like don't wait for users to come to MultiversX. You got to bring your own. To which I agree. I think, and that's a discussion we were having in one of our groups where one of the French groups where both Jeremy and I are part of, is that like there's two different types of projects in Web3. There's the project that serve inside Web3. For example, the DEX is great because it allows to trade tokens, and it allows to make things dynamic. And that is very important. So, for example, if you build a game and you want to swap your potions for golden coins, and all of those are tokens, you need a DEX or an NFT marketplace, etc. And that's what I call like infrastructure. And those projects are extremely important. I feel like I'm doing the same hand gesture as Benny. So those are extremely important, but the problem with those is that they are limited to the user already here. A person is not going to come to MultiversX because of a DEX. It's not going to come because of an NFT marketplace. They're going to come because there are the other types of projects that are experiences, communities, products. And I think that is there where we are lacking the most. I think we are lacking a lot of projects that talk directly to the user, and not already existing users, but any type of user, Web2 users, Web3 users, etc. And that once they are attracted, in the background, they will use DEXs, etc. And this is kind of like the flywheel, the positive feedback loop that is needed. So, but my main, I had two issues with that video. The first one was the success story of xPortal and xExchange was the second one, or xChange. But anyway, the success. Let's take the xPortal. Let's talk about the success story of xPortal. That's for the goal of xPortal now is to grow, etc. So then it can come back and benefit MultiversX, etc. We've heard that one before. There was a whole space with Sergio about it. And we know, we're aware of it, and we hope it works. And no matter what, xPortal is a successful product, there's no doubt. But the reality is, for me, you can't compare xPortal to a third-party project on MultiversX. xPortal has been nourished, supported, financed by the foundation, probably hundreds of thousands, if not millions, to have this product, which is a great product, and I'm not taking anything away from it. But that is not the same scenario as other projects find themselves in. Those are the projects, a lot of them are bootstrapped, a lot of them are done by passionate people that have spent their own personal money to be able to get started. And so taking this very specific case of something that has been supported by the foundation and created by the team as a success story and say, you can do the same, for me is a bit disingenuous, because we're not talking about the same ball game at all. And the second part I'm really missing is, like, I feel like I'm having a business 101 lesson by Benny, rather than an invitation to build. What I'm mostly missing in this video is Benny saying, like, yes, it's hard. Yes, it's building is always hard. Web2, Web3, etc. Most projects will fail. Your goal is to get revenue and users, etc. 100%. And we're here to help. We're here to do everything in our power to make your experience on building on MultiversX as smooth as possible. We're going to create all the tools needed. We're going to support you. We're going to like that is the messaging I need to hear. I don't just need to hear that the path is hard and that this is the goal we need to go for. You need to tell me that we are going on this journey together. And I think that is how it will inspire people and making them want to build on MultiversX, giving them the impression that, like a very Web3 term, we're in the trenches together, I think is missing. What about you, Jerem? I feel like you're going to go a bit more harder than me on that one.
Not really, because such videos, in my opinion, is completely useless, except to like make his ego bigger. Because the truth is, after you listen to this pretty long video, it's 10 minutes, In my opinion, you are looking for what you wanted to say. So I summarized it by builders, you're on your own, and please stop calling us for accountability about the price and so on. So in the substance, the message is good. Of course, generate revenue is the new meta. We are talking about hyperliquid.
The new meta since 1901.
No. The new meta in Web3.
Yeah.
Because
But
on Web3, it was not about revenue. It's about revenue now because we saw that pump fund generates 700 millions. Hyperliquid, it's 500 million. So this protocol, these apps generates revenue, and it's part of the value of the protocol and the associated token. So upcoming for pump fund and current from Hyperliquid. So this revenue thing is pretty much new on Web3. So it's not completely out of context. It's pretty much, it's even interesting to be objective. But the form, like sit alone with a Paris or in the background, it's just a communication. And to be honest, those who knows Benjamin are not expecting such thing. They are expecting, in my opinion, humility, a call for support, and also maybe some message to investors and builders who are struggling for years on MultiversX, especially when we see that nobody comes and a lot are leaving. This is, in my opinion, the most important thing, is to be focused on developers and builders, because without them they can build the best infrastructure in the world. If nobody buys it, they will just die with it. So in my opinion, the revenue thing is interesting, definitely interesting, but maybe a post would have been enough. But when we listen, when we watch Benjamin, I think it could be something more concrete. That's just my take.
Yeah, and I think the revenue part is an interesting discussion because, like, first of all, let's separate revenue from profitability, because you can have revenue without
Yeah,
profitability.
but when you invest in a startup, you just want to your
Profitability.
profitability can take years, okay? But
Yes,
revenue,
and but that's I think that is an important part that, like, a lot of that is misunderstood by a lot of
yeah,
people.
you're right. I
Um,
corrected
is
some
that
people about that,
is
so
that,
you're right
like,
to do it.
there are a lot of massive companies, gigantic companies, that have revenues in the billions, if not trillions, that can't turn a profit.
Yeah, you
Um,
can
and
mention the 10 first years of Amazon and Uber and
yeah,
so on. They were
DoorDash,
generating revenue,
Deliveroo,
but absolutely no profit. But it's
yeah,
part of the business model because the cost of acquisition is so high that you
yes,
expect to be profitable after 10 or 20 years. And that's part of the fundraise, because when you rise, I don't know, like $100 million, you know that part of it, a large part of it, will be about the user acquisition. It's the same on new banks, for example. They
yeah.
rise the
Revolut,
hundreds,
Jesus,
and
spends
they
so
they
much on user
they
acquisition. It's
expect to
crazy.
attract users, and they will be profitable in the business plan in 10
Might be,
years, maybe.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. But,
it's
like,
a bet, of course.
but I think that this is where and we're kind of going on topics we probably would discuss on Friday, but anyway, I still think it's interesting. It's like, we've come on the stage of capitalism and VC funding, etc., where the like I would say 50 years ago, the solution in which most companies find now that they have, like, millions of users but can't turn a single penny in profit wouldn't exist. They would have gone bankrupt. Because there was a time where investors were looking at profitability, not the potential of. And a great example of that is Tesla, actually. The value of Tesla is seen on the need and the profitability of it in the future. Because it's actually kind of like, in the short term, if you look at Tesla, it's not doing that well. If you compare, it to the valuation of other um, brands of cars, that's just like so many times higher, and it's just because there is this potential that investors are seeing that is very, very, very new, actually. And I think that is actually something that's very interesting because it has completely changed the way companies raise funds. Company raise funds just by saying we have that many daily active users and we have that much revenue, but they could be bleeding millions and millions, and
You
investors
know,
are still going to patch it.
it's not just about corporate investment. It's the same with public investment, or the way countries are raising debt. It's the same.
Yes,
Money, it's a money debt, so you can just print money for the countries and for the companies, and you expect return on investment in years. So it's not in my,
yeah.
it's
I
just
would still,
part of the
I still would
era.
put countries at a different stage, because the chances of countries going bankrupt, etc., are obviously extremely low compared to
Yes, yes,
companies.
of course, but
Um,
that's why you don't give equity when you are a country.
but you give bonds
It's,
though.
yeah, but it's debt. It's not
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
It's not.
No, you don't get decision power over the country. Well,
Yeah. Well, we could discuss about it. Um,
non-public.
so I don't think there's much to say about this, but what you say is interesting. We can see now MultiversX at Times Square. You know, as a marketer, I don't think it is in any universe, in any multiverse, it's something that will have any efficiency on the MultiversX to be displayed on these digital screens. To be honest. Uh,
Careful, I bring food with theory of chaos, and it's going to prove you that in one universe.
so you know what? Even if someone watched this screen, what is this? So I'm going to Google MultiversX. There is nothing about MultiversX in terms of press release or something a bit relevant for years. So you just have the
No,
website.
but for me, the problem is even further than that. Is that
I wish I could finish my sentence, but
sorry, go ahead.
let's go. No, just, you know what? When you Google something, you want some legitimacy. So you want some press release, you want some authoritarian website or analysis about an ecosystem, because you want to understand a bit what is it. And after you will go to, I don't know, download the wallet, or maybe you will go to the Twitter account, or you know, this is the
Yeah,
journey of a user. But this has not been prepared. So, in my opinion, a TV ad or such a display screen at Times Square should be the end. After you prepared everything to receive these newcomers, you can pay for this ad. So, in my opinion, it's way too early to do this strategy. That's just my take.
I would even go further, and I'm not, well. I used to be a marketing manager, but never was my field of expertise. I'm not gonna pretend I am an expert in it. Um, there's two things. So first, I think the part of legitimacy is interesting because, like, you know how we've seen on so many token pages of what's like seen on Cointelegraph,
Hmm?
etc.
Hmm?
Like, you pay 10 grand to get an article on Cointelegraph.
Yes,
There is no legitimacy.
it's
You
part
just
of the
paid for it.
game. It's
Yeah,
part
yeah.
of the
But
game.
like, in the same way as having your billboard on Times Square is a form of legitimacy.
No,
Yeah, well, as same as Cointelegraph.
I'm not sure.
Cointelegraph will write no matter what you
You
send them.
know,
You know what I mean?
this
Sorry.
the difference, in my opinion, is you don't have call to action on
No, I
these
I
screens,
agree.
but you have it on the internet. And because we are on a digital world, I think it's not the same. What you have on Cointelegraph, or what you have on X, what you have on any media about some strategic announcement or about some progress about the technology and so on. You know what? You don't even have any articles about supernova on big
No,
media.
and
So
I agree. I agree, and then I come to the second part. For billboards, and especially in places like Times Square, etc. If you look at who is there, who the other brands are, there's not a single new brand. It's just about reminders. They're paying to remind people that they exist.
Yes. So
The next to
they
it has
have
Amazon Prime Day. There's like there's the big guy.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah, and they don't want you to discover Coca-Cola. They don't even want you to want the Coca-Cola there and then. They just want to be in your day-to-day life.
Definitely agree with it.
And that is where I see two issues with the ad in Times Square. Even though, like, I think it's good content. Like, if it's for a short period and you can do video footage and you reuse it later on, fair enough.
No, I mean, no, not fair enough, because you pay for this, and
Yeah,
sorry, you
it's probably
need
quite
to
expensive.
focus about. It's not that expensive. It's a few thousands of dollars. So, well, for MultiversX, it's expensive.
A day.
But like, it's not about, okay, let's do it and we'll see. This is not how.
No,
we
no,
market.
no, that's not what I'm defending. But the second part is, and I think that is one part that, like, people getting curious about Web3 as investment, people investing in L1s just because they are L1s, etc., is 2020 meta. People don't just invest in L1s because the potential technology of them tomorrow, because we already have so strong performing L1s, including MultiversX, that investment, that risk is already gone in a sense. We have Sui, we have Solana, we have Near, we have too many. And there's still L1s launching every day. So like that race is over. Now the race is products. And we see it with a lot of other foundations that produce Claynosaurus and massive partnerships with potentially Pokemon for Sui. Like, we're seeing a focus on, like, we no longer want people just to invest in a coin and thinking that we are going to be the leading L1, etc. That is gone. Now they want users. And it kind of goes back to what Benny says: focus on users, not investors. Focus on users, getting users. So for me, you correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think you will see an AWS or a Google Cloud ad on Times Square, because 99% of the audience that are going to see that are never going to interact with AWS or Google Cloud. They're going to interact with apps built on top of it. Like, probably Amazon probably runs, well, on AWS, obviously. But like, so the effort you're putting to put your infrastructure out, I think, is wasted when it could be used in attracting products to build on yours. And what your goal as MultiversX is that one of your products becomes so famous that they serve as reminder to have a billboard on Times Square. That is a milestone. But MultiversX themselves being on Times Square, as you said, it's just paid, and I don't think it will give that much user acquisition. Because, again, how many people walking around in New York will think, oh, I'm going to build a Web3 app now on MultiversX because I saw an ad?
Nobody.
It's
So
just,
you're completely right. This is not the good audience. But you know what? The more I think about it, the more I think that this kind of publicity, like the video of Benny in Times Square doing like this cringe thing, or the video of him speaking in front of Paris that we just watched, is only there to flatter Benny's ego. He wants to see his company in Times Square. It you know what? Sorry if you think I am mean, and you know what, I don't care. But to be honest, I don't see any other point of this communication except calling his mom, saying, "Mom, MultiversX is on Times Square." Yes, yeah, I'm on TV.
Yeah.
But except of this, I can't see any marketing professional saying, okay, you need to go on Times Square, you need to do this, and you will your reputation, your awareness, your acquisition, your adoption will be better. You know what? I can't even imagine someone giving him such advice, and I think he should think about hiring a new CMO, because when he says you are CMOs, Okay, let's go. So listen to us. Who asked you for this advertising? Nobody. So
People ask for marketing,
yeah, but
and
marketing
but
is a
like,
word, but
yeah,
it's a
like
skill.
indeed, it's a skill. I think if you asked a 12-year-old boy, what is the sum of marketing for you, they would answer a billboard on Times Square.
Okay, I got it.
I'm not saying it's
No, 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 no,
correct.
no. What you say
I'm
is
just saying, like,
interesting.
it's
What you
if you
say,
ask someone what's the summum of that, it's that.
you
But
know
there's
what?
no further
When
thought.
when a meme coin bought, you know, the bowl at
The
Las
dome,
Vegas,
yeah.
the dome, yes, it was marketing.
Yes, but like
But it was, in my
I
opinion,
think the
more. It was
smartest part.
it just, but in my opinion, it was more like a proof. You know, we are able to be there. For meme coin, it was huge because means that you have someone in the team that is able to contact the person who rent this dome to pay, maybe to make a KYC because there is like a contract. So this is, in my opinion, a proof of legitimacy for a meme coin to be able to have such big and global
But
exposition.
and even more
But
than that,
just to finish, sorry, but what you say is interesting because you are saying that the marketing level of Benjamin is 12 years old, and I
that's
pretty
not what I said.
much.
That is your conclusion. But like it feels like a bucket list thing.
I'm on it. I'm
Yes.
on TV. I'm there.
But to go back to the dome, because I think the dome was interesting for another thing. It was community led. It was raised by the community. So it was a communal decision by each individual's token wallet to contribute to that, for that to happen. It wasn't the team that decided we're going to use 5% of the treasury for a marketing stunt. No, it was the community who got together. Some gave more than others, etc. But like, and I think that is very strong for a meme coin. Again, I don't think L1 should do that. If L1 there's a Kickstarter to be on Times Square, I think that is my sign to change L1. But for a meme coin, it talks about culture, it talks about community, and I think that, again, as you said, that is very strong because it's a meme coin. And it is still look Mom on TV, but it's on a different level because it's not the same type of tokens.
But definitely, we can conclude that there is absolutely, so far, there is absolutely no vision about that. When I say so far, is because you cannot know what will happen at the end of the movie. So maybe, and it will be my conclusion about this, maybe there are things that we don't know already, and this screen thing is just part of a more global plan about announcement that will happen in a few months. If I were to be bullish, and if I were to be positive, and if I were to put some hope about that, I would say that the problem is it's just a speculation, and we're not here to speculate. We're here
A little
to
bit.
try to. No, I'm not. But of course, you guys feel free to speculate on anything. But we are trying to analyze things, and to be honest, I don't see any logic in this plan for the moment.
The only thing I can think of, but again, I'm not sure if that would be a good strategy, is to raise funds, like to talk to US investors, to have your brand being at that level. I don't know, maybe.
Do you think?
Do I sound convinced when I'm saying that? Absolutely not. But
No,
I'm
I
saying
mean,
it
it's
anyway.
interesting because maybe, I'm not an American, but maybe, you know what, maybe when you speak with US investors, big venture capitals, do you think on the pitch deck, or do you think in the in the
There's a
chat
picture of
with
Benny
them.
doing the.
Yeah, do you think? Yeah, but we were there. In my opinion, it's absolutely and completely irrelevant when you speak with these guys. But maybe I'm wrong, and maybe the people they are talking advice you need to be present at Times Square to raise 100,000 million.
Yeah, I just my issue is that this is the Nasdaq tower, right? Well,
Yes.
at least the other one was. I'm not sure if this one is too.
About ViboX, yes.
Yeah.
But you're not on
the
Nasdaq.
No, and that's the thing. Basically, most of the companies that are on the ads the day are following the days they are listed on Nasdaq. There's the whole belt ceremony and there's a countdown and everything. Like, it is quite a big thing. Because I think it's when the market opens for the day where you first bid trade. I think that's the rule. And that is obviously a massive milestone. Obviously, like, not really relevant to MultiversX because it's privately owned company. But yeah.
Okay. Joaquim, we just had one topic for today, but actually we found other.
Indeed, we are quite
things
good at that.
Yeah, and thank you very much for coming this morning again. 2 hours to spend to give your opinion, your analysis to the community. See you on Friday in the morning in French for your
Indeed.
interview. We'll speak about you.
Yeah, no, it's the second time. Well, we did Gaupa Labs once, I think. But yeah, no, I think this is going to be the first.
No, it's the
first
French, the first in French.
Yeah, true.
As a guest, because I think you
Yeah.
went for some column.
I've been a few times too as a
columnist. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Take care of yourself. Maybe have some
You too.
rest. Because,
Yeah, I'm spending more time on this thing than I'm spending sleeping. This is not a good time.
Take care of yourself. And you know what? Let me show you something. Yesterday,
Oh no.
I was in Paris. Just give me a second. I was in Paris, and where is it? Where is it? Oh, it's here. Don't move. Up.
And I agree with you, Nas. I think grassroots levels are.
And I managed to find.
I
don't know if you can see it.
No, I think you need to remove your thingy. So, a massive Pokemon one.
Yes,
151.
it's so rare, and I found a store who received a few and not very expensive. So after I close this show, I will open some Pokemon boosters. Oh, you know what? Let's open it right now.
We're revamping. It's it's GM unboxing now.
Let's do it one, okay? But I don't know how it will be at the camera. But let's do this.
Oh yeah, no, you're on your Mac, right? You don't have a webcam.
Yeah, no. So I don't know if you will see things good.
Yeah.
But let's do it. Just 1 minute. I'm taking you.
You need
2
a
more
better
minutes.
setup. You see, I knew Oppenheimer would come.
We will attract. So you have special cards.
Nice.
So this.
Yeah, if anyone, you need to scan it very quickly if you want it.
It's my dream. I'm changing. I'm not a crypto content creation. I am.
You know, I had a thought about it. Like, it would be quite fun if you did on-chain opening. Basically, you open it and it creates the digital of it, and then you can like trade it directly.
Oh, it would be a good idea. When?
Yeah, I know, but I already have 10 projects, so.
So it's the special card, okay?
Yeah,
so
I never understood big cards.
Oh, I think nobody did, and nobody likes them. So it's the collection 151, one of the rarest at the moment. So let's see what I will draw from this. Let's say to the community that you, Joaquim, are also a big fan of Pokemon boosters.
Yeah, well, I try to get them for my cousin mostly, but yeah, I have stood in line to get a few.
Okay, so first.
Yeah.
Okay. Common Charizard. So can you see it? No. How can I?
Why
do
do we
it?
suddenly have 1,000 views? I'm kidding.
Okay. I
Yeah,
hope.
we can see.
Okay. Now I think it's okay.
Also, we have to GM, I think we have a problem. I think you need to buy English packs for the English stream and French packs for the French stream. Because we're not understanding half of the things written on the cards.
It's French. It's French. So it's my first time ever live, and I opened hundreds of booster, but it's my first time live. So I hope it
You're
will
doing a good job.
it will be lucky. Draco is very cool. This one is cool. Evoli, very cool. And the last one, not the last actually. Reptincell. Je sais pas comment on dit en anglais. And the last? No.
Nothing.
Guys, do you want another one?
see you next week for the.
Okay, let me open another one, and after we close, so it will be midday. Okay, I still have 1 minute. Joaquim wants to sleep, and I won't.
Yeah, I need to go.
Okay, last one, just last one. Okay. Charmeleon. Thank you. Do it. Okay, Harry is just on fire. Yeah. Okay, it's the last one, Joaquim, I promise, after I release you. Like xGenie.
Better be better. Good.
I hope this one will be better.
Matcha. Until we get the pool. Yeah, but we might be stuck here all day, especially with Pokemon. The pool rates are insanely bad.
Okay, and the last one. No.
It's got.
Oh yes, it's a hit. It's a hit.
Two black stars.
Yeah, it's not great, but it's a next thing normally.
Yeah.
Okay, are you ready, guys?
We're ready. I still think Tropica and Tropica was very cool.
Okay,
Arbok.
I have it already, but very cool. Okay, 1 hit. Okay, thank you very much. Stop working to watch this specifically. You're in the wrong field, GRM. Okay, Joaquim.
New show where GRM complains for 1 hour about the Pokemon company.
I will be blocked by Pokemon official account.
You get Nintendo on your door.
Would be great.
Dead.
Okay, thank you very much, Joaquim, and I release you. I'll let you have a rest, and thank you again for coming this morning.
Thank you for having me, and see you all on Friday for the French speaking.
Yeah, definitely.
Next week.
And next week for MultiversX. Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye.
So thank you guys for attending this GM Web3 MultiversX. I hope you liked it. So don't forget to like, to post, to repost, to comment on YouTube and on every podcast platforms. See you next Wednesday for a new GM Web3 MultiversX, and see you on Friday for a French one with Joaquim. In French, we'll be talking about his background, his experience, expertise, and his vision about Web3 and blockchain ecosystem, and maybe a bit of geopolitical, because this is the topic of this moment. And for French people, I will be live at Le Crypto Daily channel tonight at 7 CET to speak about the latest Web3 and blockchain news. Thank you very much to eApes and Atom for supporting GM Web3. You can find all of their links in the description of the YouTube video. Take care of yourself, and see you very soon. Bye-bye.